Okay, we're about to go live. And I think we are on. We are. All right. I'm going to start the recording. Okay, welcome everybody that is able to get on Facebook Live with us. This is the Enlace June monthly membership meeting. Today we have one guest speaker with us that I will be introducing first in a minute. My name is Maura Chavez. I am currently the chair of Enlace, and I want to welcome all the members here who are tuning in to us. Like we always start at all of our meetings, I want to go ahead and let everybody know the vision of Enlace. The vision of Enlace is to enhance social capital within the Latinx community in the Charlotte metro area. The mission is to develop, let me see if I can go ahead and share my screen. I forgot to share my screen and I apologize about that. There you go. That always helps when you get on there. I apologize. That is always something that we always forget to do. But like I was saying, the vision of Enlace is to enhance social capital within the Latinx community in the Charlotte metro area. The mission is to develop and strengthen connections through information, collaboration, and partnership with organizations and leaders who serve the Latinx community. Now, like I said, since we started the COVID-19 situation here in Charlotte, we have gone virtual. I know many of you have already tuned in previously, but I just wanted to go ahead and give you a quick agenda of how we're going to do it. We're just going to go over the format real quick, and then we're going to introduce the presenter. Today we have the Community Engagement Manager, Mikayla Gaspary, from NCCARE360, who will be providing great information for our organizations. After that, we're going to have questions. Again, regarding the format, hopefully you are tuning in on the Enlace Facebook page. Those that are on the Zoom call are myself, Natalie Moss, who's going to be helping with the Spanish version of the just a quick summary at the end or midway, so that way any Spanish speaking participants that we have listening here on Facebook will know what is the message we're trying to give out. But if you have any questions, please post them on the Facebook comment section. We'll be monitoring the comment section to make sure that we are answering everybody's questions. Also, for those of you who are new and do not know about Enlace, just give us a quick email at enlacecharlotte@gmail.com or visit our webpage at enlacecharlotte.org. Now, we're going to introduce Mikayla Gaspary. Like I said, she is the Community Engagement Manager with Unite Us and has a deep passion for public health and improving the lives of vulnerable populations in the communities, especially for those who have impact outcomes. After graduating from SUNY Cortland with a Bachelor's of Science in Community Health, she went on to obtain her Master's of Health Promotion, Education, and Behavior from the University of South Carolina. After graduating, Mikayla has moved to Charlotte and has since worked to improve the health and disadvantaged communities through the availability and accessibility of health and social services. Again, we'll welcome Mikayla, and I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Mikayla.
All right, thank you so much. Give me 1 second to pull up my presentation. All right. So let's get started. Thank you so much for having me today to allow me to talk about NCCARE360 with you all. Again, I am Mikayla Gaspary. I am a community engagement manager with NCCARE360 and Unite Us. So if there's any questions related to NCCARE360 kind of after this meeting and you want to set up an additional conversation to just talk with me one-on-one, more than happy to do that. My contact information is right there. I'll pull it back up at the end. Maybe we can probably shoot out an email with my information on it as well to everybody after this call. But I'm here to help you. I am your resource. So again, anything that you need, I am happy and here to help. So let's just take a quick look at what I'm going to talk to you about today. First, we're going to go over what NCCARE360 is so that we're all on the same page. We all understand how it came to be and some of the main components of this network. We're then going to go into an implementation update. So I'll provide you all insight as to where NCCARE360 is in terms of implementation across the state of North Carolina. We'll then go into talking about next steps. So if your organization, your entity, your agency, your group wants to become a part of the NCCARE360 network, we'll talk about what the onboarding process looks like and what those next steps are to becoming a part of the network. After that, we'll go into our Q&A session, of course, where you all can ask me some questions. So first, what is NCCARE360? So NCCARE360 is the very first statewide network that is going to unite healthcare, human service organizations, really any organization that provides services that impact somebody's health or the social determinants of health can onboard onto this platform, onto this technology platform, to send and receive referrals amongst each other so that we can provide a more person-centered approach for making sure our community members, our clients are being linked up with organizations that can provide them the services that they need in our communities. So as you can imagine, by using this network, it's going to allow us to have some feedback or follow-up loop of, okay, if I have this individual that I referred out to a food pantry, did they go to that food pantry? What services were provided to them? If they weren't able to go to that food pantry and weren't provided services, why? So all of this is going to be kind of documented and tracked within the network to help you and your community partners be able to track and have an insight into what's happening with these clients in our communities. The partners in the NCCARE360 endeavor, the main ones are listed below. The first being NCDHHS. So really this idea for this network came out of the state. However, the funding for this project comes from the Foundation for Health Leadership and Innovation. That is a private foundation. So we have a nice public-private partnership going on here. The other good thing about a private foundation funding the project is that funds for this are not attached to the state, which we know that funding tends to change a good bit. That comes down from the state, and that's not the case with this private foundation. The other bonus of it being funded by a private foundation is that they have actually paid for all of the licensing fees for organizations to come on board and use the network. So this is a free resource. This is something that is free to onboard, free for your organization to use. There is no cost associated with it. The other partners, I'm just going to switch to my next slide. The first being 211 and United Way of North Carolina. Hopefully we all are somewhat familiar with 211. If not, 211 is a call center. Someone at your organization or just a community member could call 211, be linked up with a navigator who can assist them with getting connected with an organization in their community that can help them with whatever their need may be. 211 still exists, still going, but they're helping us in a few ways with NCCARE360. One of the ways is they're helping us verify organizations' resources that exist in communities, so that us as community engagement managers have a starting point of which organizations we need to target to bring on board to the network. We also have the ability to actually send a direct referral to 211 through the NCCARE360 network. So if that was ever a situation that arose and your organization just wanted to kind of send the referral to 211 and have them take care of it, we can do that through the network as well. Many of their navigators in their call center have NCCARE360 logins. Expound, they are our next partner. They really are helping make sure that NCCARE360 is data sharing or pulling in information from maybe other resource directories that exist across the state of North Carolina. Really, they're making sure that we have the most robust and up-to-date data repository and list of resources within the network. Unite Us is, of course, the organization that I work for. Unite Us is a technology company. So Unite Us built the technology platform that the NCCARE360 network sits upon. Unite Us also has other referral networks across the United States. You can kind of see them represented in that map in the bottom right. However, the North Carolina network is the very first time that a statewide network is ever being done. So North Carolina really is at the forefront of this and is kind of pushing this forward before any other state in the United States is actually doing this. So you all are part of something that's pretty revolutionary in a sense, which I think is really cool for North Carolina. Unite Us also employs the community engagement team. So you have me, we have other community engagement managers situated throughout the state of North Carolina that are doing similar things as I am, talking with organizations, onboarding agencies onto the NCCARE360 network. Once your organization is a part of the network and has gone through the onboarding process, we have a pretty robust customer success team that is set up kind of on the back end. So if there's any questions with referrals, questions about the technology, we have a chat function built right into the platform where you can chat a real person, have a conversation with them, and they can help you with whatever questions or concerns you may have. So that's kind of the main partners that are involved in the NCCARE360 initiative. So really what I want to kind of talk about with this slide is how NCCARE360 is a part of or being integrated into other projects, other initiatives that are going on both at the state level right now, as well as maybe kind of the county and local level. I'm going to mention two of them. There's kind of others that are mentioned in these little bubbles on the right-hand side, but I'm going to really focus on two of them. The first one being the standardized screening questions. So the state of North Carolina came out with a series of questions that screen for the social determinants of health. If you had a client at your organization, you knew that they needed assistance, but weren't exactly 100% sure what you needed to actually send referrals for this person. You could have them complete these series of social determinants of health questions. Based on their answers to those questions, the technology will actually make recommendations of what types of referrals you need to send for that client. So those standardized screening questions are built right into the technology and are there for you to use if you need to. We also have the Healthy Opportunities pilots, which are in that bottom bubble, excuse me. And Healthy Opportunities pilots are basically grant money that is coming down from the state of North Carolina that is being reinvested back into entities, organizations that provide services that impact the social determinants of health. For those pilot entities, those organizations, those counties that are actually awarded these funds, NCCARE360 will be the required referral platform that they must operate on, and the reimbursements for those services will actually take place directly through NCCARE360. So just kind of giving you a sense of how NCCARE360 is kind of working with and integrated with other initiatives that are going on right now. Of course, as we move into the future, this will kind of ebb and flow and it'll be integrated in different ways with other initiatives. Just kind of wanted to give you a sense and some examples of how this is really part of a multifaceted approach to making sure our clients are being connected with services that they need. So how does a referral actually work? How do we actually send a referral through the NCCARE360 network? What does that workflow kind of look like for an organization? So we're just going to run through this very simple example of a workflow and how NCCARE360 can be helpful for your organization, your group, your agency, if you want to come on board. So for this example, we have this client here on the left. This client links up with this person at an organization. So they link up with this care manager. For this example, it says that this staff member is a care manager. Really, the staff member can be anybody, a front desk staff, an executive director, a social worker, a volunteer. We can kind of talk about what makes the most sense for who at your organization would be that kind of point person who would then be logging into the network to send and receive referrals. But this client links up with this care manager. This care manager is talking with this client and realizes that this client has a food need that this care manager cannot help them with. What this care manager is going to do is she's going to log in to NCCARE360. She is going to send a referral directly to a food assistance provider that can help this client with their emergency food need. This referral is going to end up in the inbox of that food assistance provider. They're going to pick that up. They're going to do their normal intake processes to get this client enrolled in their food pantry or whatever their programs may involve. Let's say that this client is able to get linked up with emergency food from this food assistance provider, but in kind of having conversations with this client, this food assistance provider realizes the reason that this client is here at my food pantry receiving emergency food is because they actually don't have a job and they can't afford groceries at their local grocery store. So this food assistance provider could log back in to NCCARE360 and make another direct referral directly to an employment provider that could help this client with maybe additional job training or their job search. You can kind of see the workflow ends, so to speak, in this example at the employment provider, but of course this could continue on and on and on. Maybe this client needs to be referred for clothing. Maybe they need to be referred for legal services, education, whatever it may be. We can send as many referrals as we want through the NCCARE360 network for a client until they're linked up with those organizations that can help them with their needs. So why participate in NCCARE360? What is the benefit to your organization of participating in this coordinated network? What we're going to go do here is we're going to do sort of a comparison. So we're going to go left to right, and we're going to compare on the left, traditionally, maybe how our organization is doing referrals, which is we have this client come into our organization. We're talking with that client, deeming that they have a need that our organization cannot help them with. So maybe we're doing Google searches. Maybe we have that printed Rolodex or document of organizations that we can send clients to. Maybe we're calling organizations, sending emails to them to hopefully get this client linked up with an organization that can assist them. We're going to compare that process and how we can improve upon it by using the NCCARE360 network on the right-hand side, and how really we can kind of improve efficiency and client experience and get these folks connected with resources more efficiently and quicker for those needs that they have. So starting on the left-hand side, in the traditional referral sense that I talked about that many organizations are using, organizations, providers cannot exchange PII or PHI in a secure fashion. Through NCCARE360, all of the information that is stored and transferred on this Unite Us platform is compliant with HIPAA, FERPA, FIPS, 42 CFR Part 2. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into privacy and security in my next slide. Back on the left-hand side, in the traditional sense, we are not pre-screening clients for eligibility. Are they actually eligible to receive services at this organization that I'm giving them addresses for or phone information for? Does this organization that I'm sending them to or giving them information on have the capacity to even serve them at this period in time? Or geography, is this organization near where this person lives, where this person works? Are they actually able to get to that entity to receive services? So through NCCARE360, we're going to be able to match these clients with the organization's providers that they qualify for the first time. We don't want to give them the runaround and send them to 15, 20 different places and say, good luck, I hope you get connected with an organization that can assist you. We really want to connect them with these organizations that can help them the first time. Back on the left-hand side, in the traditional referral sense, the responsibility is on that client to take that next step to either go to that organization, to call that organization, to do additional research on that organization, when many times we know that these clients have a lot of things going on in their lives that just prevents them from taking that next step. So through NCCARE360, we're kind of going to be taking this responsibility in a sense of making that initial connection off of this client. So NCCARE360 is organization facing. So it's specifically for organizations to kind of talk, send and receive referrals amongst each other. The general public is not logging into this. They're not accessing NCCARE360. Now, since we recognize that, yes, there are clients in our communities that want to find resources themselves and self-refer themselves, we have a public-facing resource directory on our NCCARE360.org website. So a client can search for resources on their own via the resource directory. And if they want to self-refer themselves, they can do so. That referral goes directly to NC211, which I talked about before, and they will coordinate, contact that client, and help them get connected with an agency in their area. But NCCARE360 is specifically only for organizations, groups, providers to better connect with each other to get clients linked up with services. Back on the left-hand side, I spoke about this a little bit, but if we're just kind of blindly sending folks places to organizations, we have no idea if these clients are going to these organizations or what services are actually being provided to them. So as you can imagine, all of this is being tracked, documented within the NCCARE360 network. So we have insight into this client's journey. Where were they before they actually ended up at my organization? And when I refer them out of my organization, where did they go? What services are being provided to them? As you can imagine, since that is being documented within the network, we have a pretty robust data part of NCCARE360. So one of the really cool things about NCCARE360 is you all will have access to data. And I'll kind of pause on that for a second because I have a slide coming up that kind of dives a little bit deeper of what type of data you'll actually be able to see and pull on the NCCARE360 network. So let's dive a little bit deeper into privacy and security. The first time that a referral is made for a client via the NCCARE360 network, the client will have to sign a consent form. So the consent form basically says, I'm okay with my information being on the NCCARE360 network and shared on my behalf amongst organizations in an effort to get me linked up to services. Again, this is a one-time consent. It's signed the first time. It does not need to be signed every single time. It will pop up, re-pop up at a year. So if you're the organization that gets them at their year anniversary of signing it, we would of course have them sign it again. There's 6 different ways that we can actually grab consent from a client based on how we're interacting with them at the time of the referral. So whether they're sitting right in front of us, we can have a printed copy of the consent form and upload it. We can have them sign right on our screen or our tablet or our phone. We can send them a text message or an email. We can grab consent verbally, or we can grab consent via attestation. The consent form comes in, it shows up in English here, but it comes in 14 other different languages as well. On the right-hand side, I kind of talked about what the NCCARE360 network is compliant with in my previous slide. Kind of moving on to the data part, all of the data that is on NCCARE360 is encrypted and secure. The network is compliant with security and data storage standards and breach and enforcement rules. The bottom part about protected information. So we have protected service types, as we like to call them, for services such as mental health, substance use, legal. So some of this information will actually be restricted from view based on a user's viewing permissions and the organization that they're associated with and what types of services that organization actually provides. So let me just give you an example so you can kind of conceptualize this. If we have a client that's receiving mental health counseling services at a mental health agency, maybe some of this is being documented within their profile and on NCCARE360. If this mental health provider was then to make a referral to a food pantry, to a job agency for this client, the details of what mental health services were specifically provided to this client will be completely hidden. So those organizations will not be able to see the details of these services pertaining to mental health that were provided to this client, because that is a protected service type, and those organizations are not providing those similar types of services. So just know that there's kind of additional safeguards and firewalls put into place pertaining to these more protected or sensitive types of information and service types within the network. Back to the data. So if you become a part of the NCCARE360 network, of course, you all have access to data. First type of data that you'll have access to is specific to your own organization. So you can actually pull reports, kind of customize these reports to better understand the clients that you're actually serving, the services that you're providing to clients, and the referrals that are kind of coming inbound or outbound from your organization. So you'll have the ability to create custom exports, pull this information, save it as a CSV file, use it for your own kind of internal analyses or decision making. I know some organizations in some counties are actually using this information for grant applications. So really you can use it how you want to be able to use it. Just know that you will have access and be able to pull that information. You'll also be able to have insight into what's going on in the NCCARE360 network as a whole, as a network. So you'll be able to kind of see and track holistically what types of services were requested, more of that referral activity across different organizations that are within the network. We actually have this cool kind of referral leaderboard, which is what you're kind of seeing in that snapshot right there. I know that's very small and you can't really see it, but we have this referral leaderboard so you can kind of see how other organizations are functioning within the network. And then you'll be able to kind of dive a little bit deeper into more structured outcomes for clients across your communities. We're also working on getting county level data accessible to you all if you become a part of the NCCARE360 network. Right now, I have access to that. I can, of course, pull that for you, but we're working on getting that implemented into the network so you have access to that as well. So I always get the question of, well, do you have kind of robust data sets about NCCARE360 and the impacts that it's made on North Carolina communities and clients? This is a new network. This is something that is being set up right now. So really, we only have about a year and a couple months worth of data. We also have data from our sister network, as we like to call it. So this is what I usually show people because the NC Serves network is here in the metro region. Now, this network is specifically serving the veteran population. The network is built by Unite Us, powered by Unite Us, sits on the same type of technology platform that the NCCARE360 network sits upon. However, it's strictly just to serve veterans. So I usually just like to show this so you can see how impactful this type of technology is on an area that we work and or live or play every day. So I'm just going to kind of run through these data points just to show you the impact that this network has had on our local area. So before the NC Serves network was set up, it was about 12 days to be able to intake and refer a client using those kind of traditional referral means that organizations were using. By Q5, after implementing this NC Serves network, they were able to knock that down to a day and a half to be able to intake and refer a client. The next kind of data set is talking about the time it took to make a positive match. So before the NC Serves network was set up, it was about 6.5 days to do that. By Q5 of this network being implemented, they were able to knock that down to about 2 days to positively make a match with an organization that can assist a client. The last piece is the time it took to close out a referral. Before the network was implemented, it was about 42 days to do that. By Q5, they were able to knock that down to about 13 days. So you can kind of see how quickly this network, this type of technology has impacted the time it took to intake and refer a client, make a positive match with an organization that can help this client, and then close out that referral and document what happened to this person. So it's very likely that we're going to be able to see kind of these same data points as we move forward with implementation of NCCARE360 across the entire state of North Carolina. And of course, as we move forward, we'll be sharing this data on our website, in meetings, and all those types of things. So you guys will be very much kept in the loop of kind of what's going on. All right, so I always like to stick a nice little quote in here for you guys. This is from Nicole. She is the director of WIC in Alamance County. Whoopsies. Alamance County was one of our first counties that actually launched, was live, started using the NCCARE360 network, and to date, they have some of the highest referral traffic. So this is what Nicole said. She said that she found community partners, providers that she didn't even know existed. She was able to partner with 2 new practices where she now goes and provides WIC services to their patients. She's reaching new people. She said this is long overdue and she loves it. So even the director of WIC, who we can imagine probably has a pretty good grasp of the organizations and partners in her area, was able to partner with new entities to provide WIC services at their patients, at their sites, getting these services out to more people. So she's reaching new people. She's reaching more people in her community and helping those folks get connected to the services that she provides. I also like another quote from a provider in our network in Pittsburgh. I didn't put this in here, but that organization said that the network was able to save her staff members 15 hours per week. So just think about the time you may be taking to Google organizations, call organizations to say, hey, I have Mikayla, can I send her over to you to receive services? That's taking time out of your day if that's not your normal functions at work. That's taking a lot of time out of your day for you to be, taking away the time for you to do your normal kind of work duties. So also think of this as your helper, your little kind of assistant. This is really meant to help you have access to this network and be able to connect and have confidence that these referrals are getting to organizations and these organizations are picking them up and trying to help these clients. So let's take a look at where NCCARE360 is. Where are we at in terms of implementation across the state of North Carolina? So far, we have 94 out of the 100 counties in North Carolina that have launched, are live, are using NCCARE360 to send and receive referrals. Now, a county to qualify as being live, launched, has to have at least one organization that has been onboarded to the network within that county. We have over 1,100 individual organizations that have been onboarded, are using the network to send and receive referrals for their organization. We have over 3,700 individual users. Users are staff members at organizations that have their individual login information to access the network. And then we have over 4,000 referrals that have actually been sent so far through the NCCARE360 network. We can see on the right-hand side a nice map view of where we are at. The onboarded counties are the ones that are in the darker green sort of color. The counties that have not been onboarded yet or not live, again, they don't have an organization within that network or within that area that has come on board, are represented in the lighter kind of teal color. Now, when we first started the NCCARE360 implementation, beginning of last year, of course, COVID-19 was not a thing. We had predetermined periods, onboarding periods for different counties of 3 to 4 months. And then we picked a hard launch date. So we would say, all right, by June 25th, we would go ahead and we would launch all of these organizations in this county that have done the onboarding process. Since COVID came to be, we have done away with those more strict onboarding timelines and launch dates. So what that means is that if your organization wants to join the NCCARE360 network now, no matter what county you are in the state of North Carolina, you can do so without a waiting period. So let's sort of look at what are the next steps to onboard your organization if you're interested in coming on board to the NCCARE360 network. We have simplified this process a lot directly as a result of COVID-19. So if your organization, I'm not sure if anyone has sort of started the onboarding process or is live, some of the required steps might look a little bit different from when you onboarded, but really we just wanted to kind of simplify this process and allow organizations to get access to the network quickly. So the first required step and the only required step is to submit a partner registration form. This partner registration form is an online form. It's going to ask information, details by your organization. What services do you provide? What programs do you offer? What are your eligibility requirements for those specific programs and or services? What staff members do you actually want to have individual logins to the NCCARE360 network for your organization? So your organization will have to complete this partner registration form. After you complete that partner registration form, once it is complete and good to go, I will review it. We then can launch your organization within 3 to 5 business days. So what that means is after 3 to 5 business days, each of those staff members that you put into that partner registration form will receive an individual email. It'll be a launch email. There'll be a link in there where they can click and activate their individual account, and then they will be live on the NCCARE360 network. Now, a previous step that was kind of taken out to just kind of progress the onboarding process and make it a little bit easier was software training. We still have software training for folks that want to learn a little bit more about the technology before actually coming on board and launching and giving their staff members access. So if that's something that you want to do for your organization, we can link you up to software training. We have webinars every single week. I do workshops. I can schedule another meeting that makes sense for your staff members to train them. Or we have a self-paced course where folks can sign up and kind of click through and learn as they go. So there's many opportunities to learn more about the platform, about the software before your organization goes live on the network. All right, so that was kind of a lot of information I just dumped at you all right now. But we can go into our question and answer session. I did see that there was a question in the chat, so I'll address that. All right, we have a first question from Facebook. The question is, what is the minimum personal information a client must provide to qualify to receive access to these services? Great question. So the 3 pieces of information that you have to enter that are required to enter for a client within the network are first name, last name, date of birth. Those are the 3 pieces of information that we need. One being because we want to make sure that each client has their own individual profile. So that's how we're making sure that we're not duplicating profiles for clients within the network. Mikayla has one profile within the NCCARE360 network. So those are the 3 pieces of information that you must provide for a client. The next question, is there a fee to sign up? Is there a fee for your organization to sign up? No, it is completely free. All of the licenses have been paid for by the funding entity for this program. So this is completely free for your organization to onboard, to use, to send and receive referrals. Any other questions? These were great ones.
Mikayla, I got a quick question.
Sure.
What type of organization? Does it have to be healthcare? I mean, right now with COVID-19, I think a lot of organizations are doing things that are not their normal business. Can they sign up for this too?
Yeah, of course. So really, our inclusion-exclusion policy is pretty lenient. Really, any organization that provides services that impact health in some sort of way, again, that can be food, job, those different types of things, the social determinants of health, those organizations are more than welcome to onboard. We have over 200 service types, which is kind of how we classify organizations within the network and the types of services that they provide. So really, this is very kind of inclusive.
How about another question that came out Facebook about the Social Security? A lot of the clients or people that might be referral don't have a Social Security or have a W-7. Is that something that's allowed, or how would you use that?
Yes. So like I mentioned, those 3 pieces of information, first name, last name, date of birth, are the only 3 pieces that you actually need to enter into someone's profile to set them up. Now, as you can imagine, there's other questions within that profile that you can answer so that you can kind of represent this client in a more holistic way. Social Security number is a field in there that you can fill out. It is not a required field, so you do not have to fill this out. And honestly, I would say that like 90% of the clients on there don't actually have their Social Security number inputted in there. So if that's ever kind of something that you want to be a little bit weary about, or someone does not have a social security number, you don't have to put that in there. That does not have to be known.
Perfect. And one last question. If somebody wants to do or have this presentation in Spanish, is that a possibility?
Yes. So we have other community engagement managers on other teams that speak Spanish. So I would just have to connect with them, and we would just have to work out kind of what worked best for everyone's schedule. And we can get this presentation, we can get trainings, software trainings done in Spanish. Yep.
All right, perfect. I'm not sure if any other questions are coming in right now, but this is good.
We have a follow-up of questions about the information for a client to make the referral. So there is no social security requirement?
No. It's a field. You can put that in there if you want to, but it's not a requirement. First name, last name, date of birth are the only 3 pieces of information that are required.
And for each referral, like if they're referring a family, so it would have to be the primary person in the family, or is it like information for everybody in the family, like for food pantry? Because I know those of in fishes, you have to do like for everybody. Is this just one person?
So it kind of depends on how you feel like you want to represent that person and or family within the network. We don't have any like requirements of how that actually needs to be entered. So you all can kind of make that determination. Now for referrals that you're sending to organizations, they might list eligibility requirements for those referrals kind of going to that entity. So you would just have to make sure that you're noting those eligibility requirements and maybe, you know, filling out a referral properly to satisfy what they need. But generally speaking, like we don't have any requirements of, you know, what that needs to look like, if that kind of makes sense. I know that's not completely answering your question, but it's really just a case-by-case basis.
Perfect. No, this is great information. Thank you very much for providing that. And I don't see any other questions in Facebook. Natalie, do you see anything?
No, I think we got really good information today, Mikayla. And just a reminder for everyone that is watching and is part of Enlace, we can send out a copy of this PowerPoint to the resource hub, the Enlace resource hub, so you can all have access, and also the contact information to for Mikayla. Mikayla or Mikayla?
Mikayla.
Mikayla. So you can contact directly to her if you are interested for your organization to be part of the NCCARE360.
Yep.
And also she's awesome helping you out through the application and putting all the information on the platform.
Yep. Yeah. More than happy to set up additional conversations. I mean, that happens all the time. We can kind of do a one-on-one. If there's any more questions about how we're maintaining privacy and security of your population and your clients, we can run through that. I can show you how that actually works within the technology, just to kind of make you feel a little bit better about it. So yeah, don't be shy. Please reach out. You can call me, got my email, whatever kind of works for you, and we can chat.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mikayla. I am going to go ahead and stop or if you can stop sharing yours. I have a few announcements that I want to go ahead and put on the screen. First of all, as many of y'all know, we are part of the MEC Cuenta 2020, and we are spearheading the Latinx Complete Count Committee. And next week on June the 24th at 2 p.m., we're going to have a census caravan, Latino style. So obviously there's, it looks like we do have a radio station. One of the radio stations from Norson, they're going to be sending out their van, and they're going to kind of lead the way through as we go through the southwest part of Charlotte. So if anybody's interested, please make sure you email us at enlacecharlotte@gmail, and or text us at 704-451-6148, so that way we can put you on the list. Right now we have about 3 or 4 people already signed up. Just a reminder, anybody that is joining us will get a gift card. And at the end of the route, you know, everybody, one card is going to get an additional gift card just to get out of the, I know some of us are really want to get out of the house and just, you know, this will be a great time. Hopefully the weather is going to be cooperative and we're going to have a good time as we ride through some Latino based neighborhoods in the southwest part of Charlotte. A few other announcements. Most of you, if you're a member of Enlace, I just want to go ahead and let y'all know the membership renewal notice have been sent out. Please check out your emails or the email that was in charge of paying for your membership for Enlace last year. If for some reason you did not get your renewal notice and you want to become a member and you want to continue your membership, please send us an email to enlacecharlotte@gmail.com and we will make sure that our treasurer knows about that and you can work out the details with her. Again, an email went out yesterday for all Enlace members that are interested in joining the board. Please send that email. There are a few spots available in the subcommittees that we need to fill, we would like to fill. Please send that out by June the 29th at 4 p.m. so that way we can put you on the ballot. The virtual elections are going to open July 6th, so be watching out for your email on that. And hopefully by July 15th, we'll have the results of the new board that's coming in. Obviously, with the new board coming in, there is going to be an opportunity for maybe more speakers to come in. Right now, until further notice, we will be having virtual meetings due to the safety of everybody and the precautions that we want to make sure and maintain everybody's safe. So please, if there is, if you like to have your organization present, this might be a good time to let us know so that way we can do it. Also, if there is a topic that you feel like the community needs to know or our membership needs to know, and it's not per se within your organization, please let us know. We're always willing to do an additional Facebook Live or a Zoom meeting just to get information out to the community. So please make sure you just communicate with us at enlacecharlotte@gmail.com. And with that, I think we are done for the meeting. I don't know if Natalie, if you have any last comments or anything.
No, we had a question for Mikayla, but she answered it on the chat. So Rocio, I will post Mikayla's answer on Facebook so you can have the answer about how they recruit services providers to ensure that they have a full list.
Okay. And again, like Natalie said, as soon as this meeting's over, we're going to download and I will edit and make sure that the video is appropriate. And I'll send out the link for all of our Enlace members through the Resource Hub, along with hopefully the presentation that Mikayla can be sending us to. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please make sure that you reach out to Mikayla, reach out to us here at Enlace, at enlacecharlotte@gmail.com. And hopefully the information that we presented today will be useful for your organization. And I guess with that, thank you once again, Mikayla, for coming out and being with us this early in the morning. And hopefully, you know, any last words or anything? If not, I think we are going to be done with our meeting, and I will send out every information. Just make sure that you're checking your emails for any updates or anything. So thank you very much. Hope to see y'all soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.